5-Minute Habits for Healthy Living. This week's habit is called Practice Hobbies. Hello, this is Dr. Brian Morris, and welcome to 5-Minute Habits for Healthy Living, where you will learn the tools to practice a healthy lifestyle 5 minutes at a time. Life has become very complicated with a seemingly endless amount of health information at our fingertips. How do you know what to believe and what not to believe? On this podcast, I will sort through the maze of healthcare information and distill it into easy-to-digest, time-tested, evidence-based practical habits. I've been practicing internal medicine for 20 years. I went to medical school at Johns Hopkins. I trained at Yale, and I previously held a teaching position at Harvard Medical School. I currently practice medicine and hold a teaching appointment at UCLA Medical School here in Los Angeles, where I teach these habits to medical students, house staff, doctors, and of course, to my patients. Before we get to this week's habit, I'd like to remind you that the information contained in this podcast and at 5minutemd.com is intended solely for educational purposes and should not be used to diagnose, treat, or prevent any health condition or illness. This information may not apply to a specific health situation and is not a substitute for medical care by a qualified, licensed, board-certified healthcare professional. Please consult with your healthcare provider before implementing any of the ideas in this podcast or making any changes in your healthcare regimen. This habit is one that many of us forget about when we get busy with our family life and our career life. It's so easy these days to get consumed at work and in family life that some people forget about our personal interests, hobbies unrelated to work. But it turns out that having hobbies as an adult is very important to our health. Participating in meaningful hobbies has been linked to reduced risk of strokes, heart attacks, memory loss, and many other medical problems. Think back to when you were a kid or a teenager or a young adult. What were the activities that you enjoyed most? Was it a musical instrument? Was it a sport? Was it reading? Or was it something else? What were the activities that you would joyfully do, even if you didn't have to? Which activities did you find yourself practicing when you had nothing else to do? Now, I don't mean watching TV or playing computer games. I mean activities where you found deep meaning and true inspiration. Why is that so important? Because we all have many needs during our lifetime. We have a need to connect with family. We have a need to connect with friends. We have a need to connect with a spouse or a partner. But we also have a need to connect with hobbies and interests that truly inspire us. And this needs to be something completely outside of our work life and outside of our family life. So it can't be the hobby of taking our kids to play soccer. That doesn't count as a hobby. It needs to be something that we are passionate about and something that motivates and inspires us. For one person, it might be playing piano. For another, it might be playing golf. For another, it might be taking photographs of nature or reading mystery novels. For another, it might be collecting stamps or writing a blog. There are literally an endless number of wonderful hobbies out there, but the challenge is finding and practicing the ones that are right for each of us. For me, I have some hobbies. I love listening to music, I love running, and apparently I really like podcasting. I really enjoy the music review podcast that we do, which is called 5-Minute Music Reviews. I really enjoy 5-Minute Pearls for Clinical Practice, and I also love this podcast, 5-Minute Habits for Healthy Living. When I think about those 3 podcasts, I get really excited. My family makes fun of me, but I really do. I get excited about doing these podcasts and passing on this information to others. When I think of some of these hobbies that I mentioned, I get really motivated and excited. Music, running, podcasting, those get me excited and help me to find purpose and meaning in life. What hobbies work similarly for you? Think back to your childhood. What were the activities that your parents didn't have to force you to do, and you still wanted to do them? For me, I was always fascinated with radio. I always wanted to be a DJ at a radio station. And of course, I loved music, and I love science. So this is perfect for me, but what's perfect for you? What's a perfect hobby for you to pursue? Try to find at least 1 or 2 activities that you really enjoy that you can do every week. It should ideally be something that you thoroughly enjoy. It should also be something that gives meaning and purpose to you, and it should be something that conveniently fits into your schedule each week. For example, you may love golf, but playing 18 holes of golf may not fit into your schedule each week. It may just take too much time. So try to find hobbies that you can conveniently fit into your schedule. Now notice, I did not say that you needed to be great at any of these hobbies. You may be an awful piano player, but if you love playing piano and finding great inspiration in music, then that may be a good hobby for you. And once you've picked your hobbies of choice, be sure to schedule time for each hobby each week. So for the piano example, schedule time to play piano every week, or even every day if possible. Perhaps find a piano instructor in your neighborhood who can work with you every week. Or look for an online course that can help you learn piano and practice and enjoy the piano. Being sure to have hobbies like this in your life is so important to our health and well-being. Be sure to have hobbies as a part of your life and then pass on this joy to others. Encourage them to find hobbies in their lives that will give meaning and fulfillment to them. And then bring the joy of hobbies into your life and then pass on that joy to others. Let's keep the dialogue going. Let me know what you think of this week's habit for healthy living. Post your comments and your experiences on the 5 Minute MD Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter at Brian Morris MD and visit us anytime at 5minutemd.com. Let your friends know about the podcast and make sure that you are subscribed on iTunes. When you subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, you will receive new podcast episodes as soon as they are posted. Also, we will be posting bonus podcast episodes at 5minutemd.com, including special podcast episodes not available on iTunes or YouTube. If you're finding the information on this podcast helpful, you may want to check out these episodes as well. And lastly, if you have a few minutes, stop on by iTunes and leave our podcast a review. Thank you so much for listening, and remember to make today count. I will see you at the next 5.